We often talk about people saving animals, but our next winners show us that animals can save us too. I promise you are going to fall in love with Barrie.
Let's have a look.
My name's Sean Laidlaw. I rescued a dog from Syria called Barrie. She is a girl. I was out in Syria due to a contract that I took up. I took up that contract because I was suffering really badly with PTSD. I'd sort of done a lot in my military career, but it was when I come home, it was the sense of losing an identity. I didn't know who I was anymore. And then that's when things started to unravel for me. That's when the memories started coming back. I thought I needed to hit the reset button, go back to the last thing I remember being really good at, and that was being a soldier. Whilst out there, I found in a school that had been blown up, I'd found a dog, or a little puppy that was surrounded by other dead dogs that had been crushed by this building, and she was trapped in there. We took her back to base. So it was very early on that I realised that Barrie was going to be my dog. It was even before I even got her back to camp. What I saw in Barrie was a responsibility, something to live for, something to keep going. And from there, she became really part of the team. She lifted everyone's morale up. She completely changed my life. But in my team particularly, she come out with us on all of our jobs, and she becomes sort of our team mascot. And she was always happy, always wanted to play, and that's what we really needed, sort of that big morale boost. On the way back to Syria after my 2 weeks off, I was told the contract had been cancelled. The area that we were living in had really deteriorated. It was just not safe for us to be there anymore. But that initial phone call being told that I'm not going back to Syria, I hadn't really said bye to Barrie properly. As far as I was concerned, I was going back in 2 weeks. It really crushed me. The process was we had to get her across the border to Iraq, and then from Iraq, where War Paws have got their site, they flew her to Jordan, where she was going to be quarantined. So my biggest fear was Barrie wouldn't actually remember who I was. I left a small puppy in Syria. She didn't remember me, which confirmed my beginning fears. It was a kick in the stomach. But then we took her for a walk around the car park, and she kind of walked around me a little bit, was looking at my foot, looking at me, really sort of unsure, and you could see the cogs in her brain turning, and then all of a sudden she's laid on the floor and cried and whimpered. So I just kind of started stroking her belly, and she just instantly, her demeanour changed. She turned back into this puppy that I left behind. All the mannerisms that she had were straight back.
Barrie has helped him so much. If he ever has a down moment in time, if he's ever upset, like Barrie's always there. Their relationship is just so good. It's brought a lot more out in him.
Just for that sort of, maybe you might sit there for 20 minutes with Barrie, just sort of sit there in front of the TV, giving her a little stroke and stuff like that, and it's like everything is just gone. Gives him that chance to clear his head, and then he's good to go for like the next day.
I think it allowed Sean someone to talk to, and just talk and talk and talk. That's what saved him, and that's what saved a lot of the guys with PTSD or this trauma-related psychosis, is that they can talk and get it off their chest without being criticised, without being judged. A dog will allow you to do that.
Without her coming home, or if it didn't work out that I did bring her home and we didn't connect again, I think I'd be here. I think I would have come home from Syria and I would have done something silly. And it's that cliff edge that I was on, and Barrie sort of dragged me back from that.
With owner Sean Laidlaw, who brought her back from the brink, please give the warmest of welcomes to our inspirational animal, Barrie.
You coming up, Barrie? Oh, does Barrie mind being stroked? Is it okay?
Sean, how are you? Good to see you. Can I say hello?
Yeah.
Hey, Barrie.
Now, I'm definitely blaming my pregnancy hormones for this, but I've honestly been crying about this story all day. It's just so emotional and so beautiful. But my first question for you is going to be based on tonight's theme. It's who saved who?
Yeah, I think when I first got Barrie home, the common sort of thing people said was, it's so amazing that you saved Barrie. And it was very early on that I started to tell people she didn't save me.
she definitely saved me.
Yeah, yeah. No, and you can see that in your relationship. But at first, how long did it take for Barrie to kind of really come round to you and see you as that person?
It was a good sort of week, I'd say. We sort of tried to apply with food, that didn't work, water, food, everything. And it just took an effort of love to get around to our side.
Yeah. And I have to ask you the obvious question. I'm sorry, but Barrie. Why is she called Barrie?
It was my mistake. When we first got her out, we just grabbed her and took her. So we just called her Barrie. It was just a team effort. Everyone called her Barrie. And then when we took her in the shower, I lifted her up and thought, that's not what it's supposed to be.
And it was too late to change the name. Well, I love that story.
Now, Barry's story could melt the hardest of hearts. Even some of the toughest of tough nuts have a real soft spot for Barrie. And they don't get any tougher than the award presenter who's about to step onto stage to come and see you now, because it is the legend who is Ross Kemp.
She's not sure about me either. There you go, Sean.
Thank you, sir. Cheers.
I just say very quickly, it's I was out there when you were out there, wasn't I? And you were out in Afghan when I was out there. And, you know, for me, it just displays that unconditional love that an animal can have for a human being. And if only we could show unconditional love back to them all the time like they show to us. And out of such misery, and that place was particularly misery, you were risking your life to defuse bombs. At least something also very good happened. And as you say, changed your life, yeah?
Definitely.
And probably saved your life, yeah?
Definitely saved my life, 100%.
Strong words. Thank you very, very much to Ross. Give it up for Ross Kemp, Sean, and of course, the adorable Barrie.